Hello, this is Molly from the CMS Med Help Desk. Today I'm going to be doing a webinar on medical report request series. I'm going to show you how to generate and request generate a C13 and also to update the status when received. I will also show you how to undo the status if it was entered in error. Let's go ahead and get started. Medical report request series is in correspondence module. Here I am in correspondence module and I have my client already selected. The next step is to click on Create Letter. System will take you to the Create Correspondence screen. Select the category as Medical Report Request. For the correspondence type, select C13. We've made some modification to the C13. To add the address to, click on Edit Addressee. Here, whatever address you have for the client from the Client Addressee tab in registration will auto-display right here if the relationship to patient is a provider type. As you can see, there's a medical home, a specialist, and a special care center for this client. And all this information, let me go ahead and close this down and show you. All this information came from the registration addressee tab. This is the medical home, special care center, and the specialist. All this information, as you can see, when I was in the correspondence module, have my client selected, click Create Letter, select Medical Report Request Series, correspondence type, C13, click Edit Addressee, and it traveled over here as well. I'm going to go ahead and select Medical Home. Once you select, you may not know that you've already selected, but the way you know is by moving the box over, and here's the medical home I selected. If I want to switch, it will auto-switch in the background. If it has a medical record number already entered on it, as you see here, it will switch. Okay? I'll do special care center actually, just to show you that. Also, if any of the above is not what you wanted to select, you may also search for your provider using the provider search section. You can search for a special care center or a regular hospital or medical provider. And if you select something from the search result, it will auto-display here as well. Now, let's say you didn't want to select something from here. You also didn't want to select anything from here. You can free text that information in this. You can free text your address to information here as well. You can enter in the relationship, whether it's individual provider or group or facility. Then you're just going to select the relationship, which is all provider related. And then you can enter the name, the address, the zip, click Find, and click Continue. Okay? Now, I also want to mention we are allowing you to free text this information in, and it does get stored so that the next time somebody searches for that provider, it will be available as well. But please try to utilize the addressee information and also the provider search first. Before the provider search first, before you free text something in here, okay? So here, I'm going to go ahead and do special care center, like I said, and click Continue. If system auto displayed the medical record number from the addressee tab, but if the information is wrong, you have the ability to edit that, okay? So now the next section is the reason requested. I'm going to check several options and show you the difference. Here, I'm going to enter in a start date. I'm also going to do the same day as the start date. I'm going to enter in a start date for this one, leave the end date blank. I'm not going to enter in any date range here. I'll do a begin date here. I'm going to also do a begin date here and an end date here. So I wanted to explain something. If it's a one-day report that you want, make sure you put the begin date and the end date as the same day. If you leave the end date blank, when the template displays, the system is going to auto-put the word present. If you don't put in a date range, it will leave the fields blank. If you, and like I said, and in the above example, if you just do begin date, it's going to put the word present here. If you do a date range, you can do a date range. So here is a date range. Let me do March instead. So I have March to April of begin date up to present, a begin date up to present, and a one-day report that I want. Whatever you enter here in the free text also will go on the medical report request letter. You also have the option to attach a C17A or a C13 if necessary. If you don't want to attach it, leave it alone. But if you do, just click on Select. So in this example, I'm going to send a C17A as an attachment. But like I said, you don't have to. It's optional. So click Save and Print as your last step. I'm going to go ahead and expand the results. If you remember, for clinic notes, I wanted a one day. So I put the begin date and the end date the same. For this report, I left the end date alone. As you can see, the system auto put the word present. I did not put in a date range for these two, so it left it blank. For the progress note, I put in a date range from March to April. So this is the medical report request enhancement and the new changes to the template, okay? Should we do another quick example? Let me go ahead and do another one for the same client. Medical report request, C13, system auto display, click Edit Address C, select one of the information from here, or do a search from here, or if you cannot find it here, do a free text. So here, let's go do medical report, close down the box, scroll down, enter medical report if necessary. It's optional. Select your medical report reason. If you want a one-day date range, then just do one day. If you want a date range, then enter your date information. If you want a begin date and you want it to say present, leave the end date blank. And you also can do no date. I'm not going to do attachment for this example, so I'm just going to go ahead and do save and print. And here's the information. My one-day date range, my several-day date range, my begin date with the word present at the end because I left the end date blank, and my two reasons that I decided not to do a date range. And the last part I wanted to show you was how to update the status. So I'm going to go ahead and search for my medical report, scroll down to the bottom. Here's the medical report received section. I can enter and select any of the reasons. If you did medical report received, you will have the option to enter the date received and save. Scroll down to the bottom, and if you notice, the next particular date disappeared. Another example I wanted to show you was, let's say you entered the medical report status received in error, or somebody or your staff entered the status in and you realize that wasn't the report I asked. You can come and undo the status. You can simply, whoops, wrong screen, go search letters, select the medical report, scroll down to the bottom, remove the status by putting it back to select, and save. Scroll down to the bottom. If you notice, once you save, the next letter due date came back. So because I removed the status, the tickler is still in the future. Today's the April 23rd. The letter's not going to generate until May, so therefore the tickler came back. And that's how to update the medical report request status. So I showed you both. Thank you for listening to the webinar. This is Molly from the CMS Help Desk.